Hey everybody, Bo's Garage here again with another Bo's Garage Basics today. Not going to be doing a whole lot, but just a whole lot of talking. But this is important for new drivers, old drivers, experienced drivers, southern drivers. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Those of you who don't get what is currently falling from the sky behind me. What could you possibly mean? Let me show you. So, that being said, it would appear some powdered sugar must be spilling from the sky. No, it's just snow. I promise, it's fine. Anyways, snow driving. It's really simple. There's two things you're gonna need. My old legacy back there, where are you? Where did you go? There you are. Alright, there's Legacy. There's my can of Monster that I had for breakfast, or along with breakfast. It's not my only breakfast. Don't yell at me. Anyways, with that being said, there's one thing that all two-wheel drive trucks like this need. Firstly, here, you're gonna need one of those. Just kidding. I used to. That is 70 pounds each, 140 pounds in the bed. Technically, they're supposed to sit in here, right on top of the axle, but this is where I found kind of works best so they don't shimmy and slide around and make me fall down hills. I'm good. It's a bit chilly out, so I'm going to try and keep this brief. But that being said, let me bring you back over this way so I can set you guys down and chat. Alright, let's see. How's that work? Perfect. Alright, with that being said, it's simple. When you're driving in the snow, don't drive like an asshole. Yeah, we're at the 2-minute mark, YouTube. You can't demonetize me. I'm not monetized anyways. That means more of you need to subscribe, and I can start releasing merch. I can start doing fun stuff. I mean, not that I don't do fun stuff as it is. I like it. But I'd like to see what you guys think of these videos. Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, snow driving is simple. Don't drive like an asshole. You don't own the road. The snow owns the road, and you and everyone else on it, including the road, are just there for the ride. It's similar to driving on gravel, except that you will break traction over the slightest thing. I found that out the hard way and lucky when a dually truck doing 70 around a curve decided to blow past me, and the wind pressure between the dually's bed and my door was just enough to kick my ass end out from under me and sent me into a ditch. Fuck that guy. Anyways, with that being said, if that snow is fresh and there hasn't been a salt truck in hours, you don't own the road. The snow owns you and the road. So drive slow and stay behind somebody. It's safer. Now if you're a little more daring and you want practice driving in the snow, go to an old parking lot, like a store parking lot that's closed, abandoned, and in a place that you're not going to hurt anyone else, and just try to get a feel for how your car handles the snow. Especially you first drivers. Don't assume it's like driving in the rain, because it's very different. Ice can form at any given moment, and you will have no idea where it's coming from. With that being said, ease into it. Ease in your braking, and if you start to slide, don't slam on your brakes, pump them. Just continuously pump them. Most modern cars, you don't need to do that, it's got ABS. Yeah, but sometimes when you want a hill, you still have to pump them, because ABS isn't enough to stop you. I was going to classes when I got my backpack on. And what ends up happening is there was this big Ram truck that had been following me for a couple blocks. And I was behind a Jeep that was going, it was 25 and a 30, so it was doing 5 under. But the road was uneven, number one, because it's the Midwest and our roads absolutely are atrocious. Anytime we get snow, because our cities fail to figure it out, that hey, instead of spending all this time on projects that could be useful, maybe we should spend some time and money on projects that will be useful. We have to make our cars roadworthy, but the roads don't have to be car-worthy. Stop using my tax dollars for other dumb stuff. Just let me drive my truck in peace. Anyways, enough about that. But he decided he was gonna, like, the Jeep slid, I slid, and he slid. The Jeep and I, well, the Jeep slid just like a couple feet over the white line at the bottom of the hill for the stoplight, which I don't, Rock Island, why did you put a stoplight there? I could understand why for us, but a stop sign would have worked even better at that area because of the fact that people will slide. Well, it's such a steep hill and it doesn't get salted, or it hadn't been salted yet at that time. I'm pretty sure it's salted now. I didn't go that way on the way home just because I don't feel like trying to fight gravity in the snow. Anyways, but the Ram was a more, I want to say it's like a 2020 series Ram or something. I don't know. I don't do modern cars. I do vintage stuff. Old trucks, old cars, anyways. But I know he had ABS because you can hear it kick in because it'll interchange which brakes are on and off. It'll do front and passenger front and driver front and passenger rear, and then passenger front, driver rear. It'll try and alternate to try and get you to stop to find that bit of traction to slow you down. And you can hear it because it goes. It's not quiet. Even in my truck with the exhaust as it is, I could hear it. My ABS, I have ABS in this thing, and it did the same thing. Driver front, passenger rear, passenger front, driver rear. That's all it did. But you can hear him. He's creeping closer, and then you can tell when he starts pumping his brakes because you'll hear him you'll hear the noise stop, and then he'll pump it and he'll try and do the ABS thing. But he came to a stop. Nobody hit each other. None of us hit each other, which is good. But giving each other just if you follow at the way you're taught in driver's ed in Illinois is you're supposed to give one car length away. In the wintertime, give 2 to 3 because you have no idea if that driver's ever going to stop, or what happens if there's a whiteout and the dude in front of you is doing 80 miles an hour and you're doing 50 and he careens into the back of a car because there's a whiteout and there's a massive pileup. Now you have more time to stop than he does, and you have 30 mile an hour less than he does to not have to slow down. But give each other just a little bit of room. If you're driving in the snow in the south, which you would get about what there is on the ground today, and it would completely destroy your infrastructure. Don't talk shit about us Midwesterners. Stop that. We deal with it too. Our infrastructure just sucks all the time, so we're used to it. But it doesn't die in the cold. Anyways, the snow. If you're driving in the snow and you're from the south, just drive slow. Don't heavy accelerate. Stick your car into it. Most cars have, obviously you have your Pringle. But mine goes park, reverse, neutral, drive, third, second, first. I throw mine in the third gear if I'm going up and down just residential roads that are flat and just kind of crappy. Second gear I will use if I'm climbing a hill. First gear is only if I'm at a complete standstill, the road's made of ice instead of blacktop, and it's snowing upwards because of how fast the wind's moving. That's the only time I'll ever go into first gear, or if I'm stuck, which I have never gotten stuck anywhere. Even when I went in the ditch in Lucky, because Lucky's 4-wheel drive system was awesome, I didn't get stuck. But that doesn't mean you need 4-wheel drive to drive in the snow. It's nicer, yeah, because you don't have to do 1,000 times more work, and even then, by 1,000 times more work, I just mean, what's this? Anyways. It's not like you're doing 1,000 times more work. It's just that you have to be more vigilant. You have to pay slightly more attention than being zoned out like you can be in the summertime and to do that whole highway hypnosis teleportation nonsense. Just think of it like this. I love the South because they had this crazy news guy who got on there and he's explaining how to drive in the snow. Your grandma, you're driving to church on Sunday. You're all dressed up and fancy, and there's a potluck. But your Mima, grandma, whoever you want, pick someone in your family that you wouldn't want to get, want their nice clothes ruined. But they're holding a thing of cranberry soup, like cranberry juice, or like gelatin. It's super. It's impossible to get out of stuff if you ever spill it. I've seen it happen. It's not a fun mess to clean up, and you will never hear the end of it. If you wear the trousers in that relationship, just expect to be in a doghouse. Just say that. With that being said, just drive slow, take your turns carefully, make them more exaggerated. Try and follow the ruts in the snow. Don't try and be a trailblazer like half of these idiots I see out here driving. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna go 80 miles an hour around you because you're going 55 in a 45. Some of these people make me mad, but for legal reasons I don't speed. For legal reasons. Anyways, and obviously you can hear, maybe you can hear it, but there's some sports car whipping around somewhere. It's just echoing and reverberating around. It's that time of year where people start doing fun stuff, dumb stuff, but fun. Also, if you're one of the people who calls the cops on people for doing shit in parking lots, you are the problem in this country. I want you to know that actively. I hate your soul. Don't do that. Everyone learned how to drive somewhere. You learned how to drive like an idiot because you never learned how to drive, clearly, and your life is miserable. If you see someone doing donuts in a parking lot, it doesn't mean they're just out there whipping it. At most, as long as there's nobody there, the most you're going to have is a dead Honda at that point. Maybe a banged up fender. Nobody's dead. Don't do it in a crowded parking lot. That's stupid. That's an easy way to get the cops called on you. Don't be a dumbass. Just be smart about it. But it's been Bo's Garage. Enjoy your snow day.